you live streamers to daily download number 14. And it's been an interesting experience for me the last few days. And you guys know my story. I run multiple companies around the world, and I travel and I speak and I do lots of things and help people to start and build businesses. Well, here's something that's happening is typically when I put out a webinar and I do a webinar for some of my clients, typically what happens is very quickly they fill up and they've been very successful. Well, I've had this experience. I've only got 2% on my computer. Let me quickly get that organized. I've had this experience anyway, everybody, of two of my clients having over 100 registrations combined and having no one show up. And so I felt extremely frustrated because if you're like me, you always want to make sure that you do the best you can by your clients. And so it's like this lesson just keeps happening to me, and the lesson is this, is the way whatever's happening to you right now is perfect, and we have to find that perfection somehow. See, I found myself first off frustrated, then angry, then doubtful, then feeling sorry, and trying to figure out what's going on, just feeling completely frustrated. And if you're listening, comment below if you've felt frustrated before or felt upset or something that's gone wrong. And I think the interesting message to always remember, no matter what, is to understand just this one thing, is that whatever is going on for you right now, you Periscopers and you out there on Facebook Live and you here on the recording on YouTube, is to know this. Whatever you're going through right now, there is something in that is setting you up for something positive in your future. I'll say it again. Whatever you're going through right now, there is going to be something positive in that will set you up for your future. I'm not saying the thing that you're going through right now is good, because look, in the last 3 months I've had my best friend killed in a motorcycle accident. I've had crazy amounts of financial stress in business and all sorts of things happen, and none of that's been good, okay? And I would never say to you that sometimes something that you've gone through has actually been good. But what I am saying is that everything that you're going through will set you up for something good, something great, of equal benefit in your future, no matter what it is. And so I want you to notice this one thing, and I don't know where I got this term from, but it's called the seed of equivalent benefit. And what that means is that whatever's getting planted now, the universe has to even out. And yeah, it is just perspective. I see Sally commenting. Thanks, Sally. It is just perspective, commenting out there in Facebook Live. So it is just perspective. And so look, I've had all this stress and this frustration happening for me. And I'm doing these daily downloads every single day, and so I can't hide from it. You know, I go, what should I talk about today? And I have to every single time talk about what's happening for me. And so the thing that I want everyone, and I really need to get across today, is it doesn't matter what's happening, whether it's good, whether it's bad, especially if it's bad. I want you to start looking for what it is that you want to see in it. Because if you look for goodness, if you look for perfection in it, that's the only way you're going to actually be able to find perfection. Does that make sense? If you're not looking for the perfection, then you're never going to find it. If you're not looking for it to be good, then it's never going to be good. And so I wanted to share about a few ways that I try to shift and change. The first one is I just allow the emotion to be with me. See, a lot of times, I've talked about this on other videos, is I feel like sometimes we can create a pendulum swing where if we push back against something so hard, all we do is we allow that thing to come back at us. And so the first thing that I do is I actually just go into that emotion and feel that frustration, that pissed off, that upset, to as much as I need to feel it. And I think a lot of times we're told to push away those feelings. But what I suggest is your first step is just be completely present with that feeling and feel that frustration. The second step is I want you to understand that feelings and frustrations and upset and anger, they're not negative. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. Hey Sherry, what's up? Nice to see you out there on Facebook Live. Those of you who are watching the replay over here, or you're out there on Periscope, make sure you connect into the other place as well. You can be on this live. And I want us to get this, okay? This is important to me to share. Is there's no such thing as a negative emotion. The body doesn't understand negative emotion. In fact, even anger, even sadness, even frustration is actually positive to our unconscious mind. Why is that? Well, every single one of those emotions, every single emotion is actually there to teach and to share and to tell us something. And this is huge. So this is the second step, is after you just feel and you're present with the emotion, you don't fight it as much as possible. The second step is to understand, well, what is this emotion really trying to communicate to me? Is it that I'm in my wrong area of genius? Is it that I really need to work on something here? Is it that this person has wronged me and upset it? And there's such good, when you ask the question and you ask, and I've got into this real kinesiology place, and I'll share this with you guys. There's this whole field of study, and it basically shows you how you can have your body tell you your truth. And so I now know certain things that show up if it's a yes for me or if it's a no for me with my super conscious and my more than conscious brain, but I might share that another time. And so I ask myself and I say, so what is it? What's up, Faz? I can see you jumped on live. What is it here that I'm needing to learn, or I'm needing to shift, or I'm needing to change, or I'm needing to really see? And some of the things that have been showing up for me have really, really been huge when I ask those big questions. And because the fourth thing that you must do is understand this, is if you don't shift out of those upset feelings and start seeing how everything that's happening right now, all the frustration, the upset, and the pain is there to serve you in the future at some point, if you don't understand that, if you don't create the shift, here's what's going to happen. And I watched a video by Teal Swan. How many of you watch Teal Swan? If you're watching the replay, type below if you check out Teal Swan. Well, I watched her video yesterday, and she said, F-U-C-K, the law of attraction. F, the law of attraction. And I thought it was so funny. And this has all got to do with step number 4. She said, F, the law of attraction. Because here's what happens with the law of attraction. If you get abused, and it's none of your fault when you're a young child, and you sit in the resonance of abuse, well, then for the rest of your life, the universe is just going to reflect you back abuse. And so she said, screw the law of attraction, because all you're going to get is more of how you're feeling. And that's what comes down to the step 4, is if you don't want more of the way that you're feeling, well, then you're going to have to make the shift. And this shift sometimes can be the hardest part. So you've become aware, you've been present with the emotion, you've become aware of why it might be good, you've allowed yourself to think through that. Now you're wanting to make the shift and move out of it, because you understand the one principle is that however you're resonating, however you're vibrating, more of that's going to show up. And so if you're in any sort of area of frustration or upset emotion, you don't want more of that to turn up. So now you've got to make the shift. Now this is the hardest thing, because people love to stay in upset emotions. Now if you don't do the first thing, if you don't allow yourself to be present with the emotion, you really don't allow it to come through you and to leave you. You stay stuck in it. Okay, you stay stuck there. So you've got to do that. Then you've got to find the seed of equivalent benefit. You've got to understand that there's going to be a better future. Then you must make the shift. Now for me, it's always exercise. It's always getting out of my head and into my body with movement that's actually going to shift me into that. And I've got this one big rule. And the rule's called the 90-10 rule. And what that means is only 10% of my time and 10% of my life is allowed to actually sit in that frustration. Only 10%. And even that's nearly too much for me now. But then 90%, I'm looking, how is this going to serve me? How is this going to show up better? How is this going to actually make my life or my day better sometime in the future? And so for me, my message today that's coming through loud and clear, because I've got a lot of frustration that was there, is to just know everything that's happening, no matter how painful it is, no matter how upset it is, no matter what it is, you've got to understand this. Everything that you're going through right now doesn't have to be good, but it will create something good in the future if you look for it. Because whatever you look for, you will find. So, this has been the Chris Duncan Daily Download number 14. Welcome to Periscope for the first time getting back on. Welcome Facebook Live. First time having you guys on live. And everyone watching the recording, please comment below, like, subscribe, share. Do what you need to do. I'll be doing a video every single day. This number 14 of 100. I'm going to say goodbye to my recording, and I'm going to stick it out with my Facebook Live and my Periscope crew, because I want to know, and if you're watching live, here's the question. I want to know, what do you want me to cover on tomorrow's video? All right, bye now.